Moment of silence for DMZ, we barely knew you. Alright, maybe that's a little dramatic, but the future of the DMZ mode is looking pretty bleak. Which brings the question, will you keep playing DMZ if the updates just stopped? The long-time rumor was that MW3 Modern Warfare Zombies was going to completely replace DMZ, which is just silly because Activision would never remove a feature, a map, or a game mode the community really enjoys. The more likely scenario is that DMZ will just remain in beta and be on life support until it fades out. Sure, we got this tweet telling us that it will continue to receive support, but it was also confirmed that it will not be carrying over to the new Warzone map that is coming. I'm going to tell you a few of the reasons I believe this is the case and break things down as quickly as possible. I do want to preface this by saying I am a fan of DMZ. I did start creating with DMZ content, actually. I do not want to see the mode fail, and I'm still not sold on this new Zombies experience that they're selling, but we'll get back to that later. And we'll also talk about some of the things that need to be improved in DMZ for it to continue to thrive. Something a lot of people might not realize is that DMZ mode was actually in development at Infinity Ward as a passion project for quite some time. When it was leaked and revealed that it would be coming with Modern Warfare 2, it had actually been in development already for close to 4 years. This is very significant because if you remember, initially Warzone 2 was built heavily around the DMZ mechanics. We had the backpacks, strongholds with AI, slower movement, assimilation, and in a lot of ways DMZ mode felt better than Warzone 2 did at the initial launch. In my opinion, Infinity Ward based their entire game development plan around this mode, and because it was a passion project, it was very difficult to get them to move away from those design decisions, even as Warzone 2 was drowning. Now, neither one of those modes really look anything like they did at launch, with Raven Software taking over Warzone 2, and DMZ arguably getting just as much, if not more, content during the Modern Warfare 2 lifecycle than Warzone did. What started as a fairly bare-bones mode has turned into a cult following, despite DMZ still having some persisting issues from launch and still being in beta. So the obvious question that you're asking now is, why would Activision walk away from this mode? Well, to be honest, Modern Warfare 2 is kind of a strange situation. Despite having a record-breaking launch, the entire lifecycle of the game has basically had bad reception from the community. Combine that with how long it took Activision to make changes and even do anything about the problems in the game, and Infinity Ward went from being the hero of Call of Duty to quickly becoming the villain. And whether it's fair or not, Infinity Ward is taking a massive amount of hate for Modern Warfare 2's shortcomings. Unfortunately, I think that DMZ is part of the collateral damage. Now we have Modern Warfare 3, whose entire marketing campaign is basically, hey guys, we're not Modern Warfare 2, pushing the return of a lot of the features that Infinity Ward elected to remove and catering to a lot of the vocal community complaints. Infinity Ward has actually kind of fallen to the wayside, and you don't hear a whole lot from them lately, with DMZ not even being hinted at or talked about at COD Next during the Warzone section. Basically what I'm saying is, Infinity Ward is the scapegoat and they're in the doghouse. Now for the gut punch that hit two communities. Modern Warfare Zombies was announced, and after the debacle that was the Vanguard Zombies, a lot of fans were excited. But as more information came out, we learned that it's going to be a lot more like DMZ than regular Zombies, as it will not be round-based and it will be a PvE squad-based extraction-style game mode. Rumors immediately began that this new zombie mode would completely replace DMZ, and this has a couple of different reasons to be higher on the food chain. Number one, money. It always comes back to money. There's already an in-game currency built in for the Zombies mode to be monetized, and they're bringing back a lot of characters and crossing titles, which means you have fan favorites you can bring back and sell bundles that you normally wouldn't be able to sell in a Modern Warfare game. Plus, this mode can always be monetized the same way that DMZ has been, with specific bonuses in bundles that people can buy. I can't lie, there's a lot of stuff in the game mode that does look good, but it's such a far cry from the original Zombies experience, and personally, I didn't think that Outbreak was anything too special. Plus, this mode is not sounding very solo-friendly just based off of the developer reactions and comments when they revealed it at COD Next.
You know, I like running solo from time to time. Is that also something that's possible as well?
And that's 8 squads of 3. You can group up together. You can go lone wolf it. I don't know if I'd recommend that, guys. From what I've seen.
Experienced players. if you want a challenge, you can go in solo, but it is a lot of fun to grab some friends.
Do you think that MWZ will kill DMZ? Let me know in the comments. Personally, I don't necessarily think so. It's two different fan bases. However, DMZ not being carried over to the new Warzone map does look like a bad sign. And obviously it could always change later, but something I'm not sure people realize is that if they were to bring the new map to DMZ, they would probably have to wipe all the progress again like they normally do when they integrate the new maps into the mission setup. Which brings me to the next point, where does DMZ really go from here? I like the mode, but let's be honest, a lot of the missions are basically recycled or fetch quests, and both the times they've done the wipes, they really haven't innovated a whole lot in that part. You can keep adding maps or keep doing wipes, but people have kind of gotten upset when they did wipe the insured slots slots, contraband, keys, and things like that, so that doesn't really seem like a long-term sustainable strategy. PvP and 6-man teams have kind of divided the community and continue to be a problem even though they've tried to put some small things in place to stop it. The mode is not nearly as solo-friendly as it used to be. Most people won't 100% the missions, they'll just do enough to get their insured slots, and when you do either of those things, it doesn't leave you a whole lot of options except for either hunt players or just drop in and mess around. So the longer the game mode goes without any real substantial additions, the more people will basically stop playing or be at that point where they don't really have anything else to do. This lends itself to the rise of more 6-man teams and more teams hunting players, at which point you're basically just playing Warzone. Couple this with the fact that it is a beta still, and there's still bugs and glitches that have been in the game for quite some time and haven't been fixed, and you kind of have the perfect storm for this game mode to just become abandoned. Granted, Infinity Ward did this to themselves with the live service model. You have to continue to innovate, you have to continue to add things, or the game just kind of dies. There is definitely a niche and community for the DMZ players, but it's hard to imagine Call of Duty dedicating a substantial amount of resources to developing the mode, especially considering that Modern Warfare 3 and all of its associated modes will be the focus for this year, and Call of Duty seems to be stretched too thin as it is. Next year, Treyarch will bring their rumored Black Ops reboot into the space, and all of these things as they continue on just leave DMZ as the odd man out. Obviously, this is all speculation and I have no inside knowledge, but to me, it just feels like this is what's going to happen. Am I hitting the nail on the head here, or am I just completely out in left field? What do you think the future of DMZ is?